Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TRUMOTION, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place. Hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host, Steven.
Welcome to 2025.
Yes, welcome to 2025. This is the first episode of the year, and we're just returning back from our little Christmas break. So going to do a quick little recap and kind of see how everybody's break was. So, Steven, we kind of already know about your break, but obviously most other people don't. Yeah. So how was your break?
Oh, my break was all right. I ended up driving to Ohio, which is it's not necessarily mid or west, but it's 25 hours away east.
Yeah, if you look on the map, it's really east coast.
It's
almost.
really there. It's in Eastern time.
Yeah.
So I drove there to see my family and some friends and end up playing some sports and having a good time.
Nice.
I did that over the Christmas day and the other days around it, and I ended up driving back that weekend afterward.
Okay.
It was a long drive.
Yeah, the longest drive I've ever done, and I wasn't driving, I was just a passenger. It was when I was really young. My dad and I drove from Miami back to Utah.
Oh, that is a long drive.
Yeah, my grandpa gave my dad his old 85 Ford F-150 truck, and we drove it from Miami back to Salt Lake City. And this was
pre-air conditioning?
No, I think we had air conditioning, but this was like pre-cell phones,
of course,
portable game systems, tablets, portable DVD
so
players. Like I had to sit.
You just have to look outside and see like what's out there.
What's for the majority of it is nothing. Flat plains, nothing to speak of.
Wow.
Yeah. And my dad loved like soft rock, like Three Dog Night, and Bread, and Jim Croce, and I had to listen to that stuff for a long time. It took 2 days, and my dad blames me for taking that long because I wanted to stop so much, but I'm just like, whatever. It had taken a while.
You gotta synchronize your bathroom breaks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, my break was nothing too exciting. We just stayed home and I ended up having my surgery postponed, so I didn't have to worry about recovery. So the whole plan over Christmas break was to recover, and then that did not happen, so I was finding things to try to do. And Christmas was nice. We had Maya and Elliot come over, and
oh, nice.
My parents came over, and we did a Secret Santa where everybody drew a name and bought one gift.
Well, now that it's over, since I don't know if you told everyone or does everyone know who you got, or is it still a secret?
Everybody kind of figured out who everybody got before.
Okay. What did you get, and then what did you get for the person?
So Elliot drew my name.
Okay.
And he got me what's called a noggin boss hat. And those are those giant hats that obviously you wear, and it's awesome. It's an Eagles one, so now I wear it on Sunday when we watch the Eagles play.
How giant is this hat?
It's like 3 times the size of a normal hat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it has this like foam insert that's like, it's honestly, I think like 3 inches on each side, and then you stick your head in the middle. So, I mean, imagine a hat, and it's like, a fat head type style. Yeah. It looks funny.
That's funny.
But I love it. I think it's great.
It's cool.
Shanna can't listen to me talk because if you move it all, it like your head bobbles. So you look like a bobblehead.
Nice. I think that's probably a dead.
And then I drew my mom, and I got her some hats also, some purple style fedoras and scarves and some pretty other cool stuff. So
nice. Purple her favorite color?
Yes, purple is her favorite color.
Very
and cool. Shanna got Maya, and she bought her a Kelly Green Saquon Barkley jersey.
Ooh.
That was the only thing she wanted, and she wears it every Sunday now.
Nice.
Elliot got me. I got my mom. Jamin got my dad and he bought him a new pair of slippers and a minky blanket.
Nice.
So, for those of you guys that do not know what those are, minky blankets are very comfortable, soft blankets. And if you've ever worn one, or not worn one, just like used one, I guess you could say worn it. It's
Gotta
on you.
wear it.
They're super comfy. So then my dad got Shanna, and he bought her a gift card to a spa for a facial.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, but that was it. It was fun. You know, obviously hung out, had a good time.
You said you were playing some games.
We didn't really play
Didn't
very
really get to
many
the
games.
games. Okay.
I mean, everybody started like napping, and we ended up watching The Grinch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and just kind of hung out and talked, and yeah, just kind of enjoyed each other's company. So Shanna wanted to play some, but we never really kind of got them started. So we'll have to do those another time. But But moving on, we do have to kind of bring up something a little bit more on the serious side. Unfortunately, over the break, we had a tragedy here with our TRUMOTION family. Our beloved student, assistant Liam, unfortunately passed away due to complications from a seizure. It's still really fresh for a lot of us. We're still I personally am still trying to move on from the shock of it all. Because his parents called me on Sunday the 22nd, and they informed me of the bad news, and I still didn't want to believe it. But unfortunately, it was true, and the hardest part about it is I literally was hanging out with him, and we were talking and cleaning up from our Christmas party like 7 hours earlier.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's gone. So yeah, it's still tough to talk about. It's getting easier, obviously, the more I'm letting people know what's been going on. His family did set up a place to donate to an animal shelter if they wanted to make a donation to a shelter. We'll see what we can do about trying to get the link attached to one of the comments or something like that. But it sucks. It's one of the things you never really ever want to hear, not only as a teacher, but a friend and a colleague or a parent. But you just have to continue to move forward and do your best to cherish the times that you had with each other and not try to think about the what ifs. Because that was my biggest thing, is like, man, what if this was different? What is that was different? Or he's never going to experience this, or he's never going to all the stuff we have no control over.
Right.
And instead of viewing it that way, just viewing it in terms of, man, I really had a lot of good times with him.
Oh, yeah.
He touched a lot of people's lives in a very positive way. We touched his life in a very positive way. And just try to focus on that. And I know it's going to be pretty emotional the first few days in classes back from break when he normally would be here, and he won't be with us. But we're doing what we can to keep his legacy alive here in the dojo. We've renamed our gym Liam Strong, and Jay has started to paint a little mural on the wall for him. We are going to make some t-shirts that say, I'm debating to put hashtag I am strong, because people that know that will know that we're talking about Liam instead of saying Liam Strong.
Right.
I like that a little bit better. And then obviously we're going to donate the proceeds to Liam's family for whatever it is that they need at that time. I am going to get his dad training with us.
Oh.
That will happen because his mom won't not let that happen too. So when she puts her mind to something, that you better believe that that's going to happen. So we are doing a few things to make sure his memory stays alive in the studio at all times. We've started a scholarship in his name to where his parents will be able to nominate somebody to come train here with us, and we will take care of their tuition. So, yeah, we're doing what we can to make sure we celebrate him and remember him, and know that it's okay to be sad and grieving during this short period of time, but try not to stop living life, because obviously he would not want that.
Right.
He would not want that, but I've done my best to try to remember the good times and not focus on the times that we won't have. And it's been hard sometimes. I find myself all of a sudden be like, yeah, I really feel like I'm kind of moving past it. And then all of a sudden you just find yourself crying.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. So, I did present Liam's family with a black belt and a certificate, knowing full well he would have gotten one if he was given the chance.
Yeah.
And he was very, very close.
He was close.
And that was very difficult to do.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the right thing to do at the same time. So, and also another way we're going to be honoring Liam is we've added a new segment into the show called Liam's Facts.
Liam's Facts.
Liam's Facts, because he always liked to kind of tell us all these weird facts or trivia.
He loved trivia.
Yeah, he'd always loved doing trivia at the dojo.
In fact, one of my memories is we, as instructors, between classes, would actually go over to those cards and read them, so we would know all the trivia.
Yeah, so anytime we would do it in class, they'd be
It
like,
was
I already
always-
know the
yep,
answer.
it was me versus him whenever like trivia came up,
Yep.
because we both were. He loved trivia.
Yes. He was always a very happy, loving kid. He was always one of the first to say hello to you when you came in. And if he didn't know you, he'd go up and ask, introduce himself. He would say hi. Like, he even knew a lot of the parents of the little kids, and he would refer to them by name, be like, hey, it's good to see you, whoever he was talking to. A lot of the kids loved him. So he will definitely be missed. He will definitely be missed, but we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that people still remember him, and he still will always be a part of the TruMotion family. So,
Moving on.
yeah, moving on
To Liam's Facts.
to Liam's Facts. All right, so how this is going to work is I'm going to give you a trivia question, and then you have to tune in next week to get the answer. But obviously, if you feel like you know the answer, please leave it in the comments, and then we will find...
Email, too.
Or email, yes. Email or comment, and we will let you know if you're correct or not. So this week's Liam's Facts is, in 1943, the Eagles and Steelers combined teams due to World War II. What was the team name? So we're looking for the team name between the Eagles and Steelers? I chose a sports trivia question because of our top 5, and obviously you'll figure out what our top 5 is here in a second.
Yep.
But if you know the answer, email us or leave it in the comments down below. Moving on to our top 5. This week's top 5 is top 5 sports movies, hence the sports trivia question. So, just real quick, I'm going to tell you, like, honorable mentions that didn't make the list.
Honorable mentions that didn't make your list.
And it's pretty big.
It's a long list. It's
Yeah.
one of those. Okay.
So, we've got honorable mentions, Bad News Bears,
Okay.
Any Given Sunday,
Okay.
Sandlot, The Mighty Ducks,
Ooh.
Dodgeball, Major League, Caddyshack, White Men Can't Jump, and Rudy. Those are just a few honorable mentions.
Those are your honorable mentions.
Yes.
Interesting.
So that being said, what do you got for your top 5?
Well, I have on my top 5 Dodgeball,
Okay, Dodgeball.
and then I have Talladega Nights.
Good one.
Then I have Rocky,
Okay, which one?
the franchise.
Oh, 1 through 10?
Yeah. the one with the sports in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I have Coach Carter.
Okay.
And then I have Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
And then for my runner-up, I had another one. I had my honorable mentions are The Big Green.
Oh, I remember that one.
Cars.
Cars. Okay.
And A League of Their Own.
League of Their Own was a good one too. That almost made my list as well. The Big Green, I forgot about that one. That was the soccer one,
Yeah,
right?
it's the soccer
The
one.
Go Big Green. Oh, another really good one is the Little Giants.
Yeah.
Along with the Big Green theme. All right, so my top 5, and again, no particular order. I've got Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Good old baseball movie.
Okay.
Remember the Titans.
Nice.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3 specifically.
Okay.
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
With-
which one?
There's only one.
I know.
Yeah, it's
Good.
Michael Jordan,
Good.
the LeBron. I have never
You
watched
can stay
it,
on the show, it seems.
and I will never watch the LeBron version.
I don't know.
So
The animation's pretty.
it may be better, but it's not better.
It's not better, but it may
The
be
animation may be better, but that doesn't mean it makes it better. And then the last one, Happy Gilmore.
better. Happy Gilmore. Okay.
Yeah, good old Happy Gilmore. A lot of good old quotable moments in that one. Yeah,
That's funny. Okay.
your happy place.
Have you ever seen the one that the South Park creators made? The sports basketball.
Yes,
That's
that's a
crazy.
really good one too.
funny, but it's dumb.
Oh, it's a great kind of dumb funny.
But it's like they make their own sport as a hybrid of other sports.
Yeah, because they're like, we'd be really good if you didn't have to run or jump or move fast or anything.
Yeah.
But they can shoot.
Yep.
Yeah. Basketball was great. I remember trying to convince my 8th grade gym teacher to do it in PE class 1.
Basketball.
They're like, what? Then you try to explain the rules to them and they're like, that's stupid. And
Yeah,
it's like,
man,
it's
yeah.
great. What are you talking about? So
So it makes sense.
exactly. But I thought it was going to be easy to come up with the top 5. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, this is a sports movie. That's a sports movie. This is a sports movie. And it turned out to be a lot.
There's a lot more boxing movies that we could have mentioned too.
Yeah. Like Raging Bull, Southpaw. You could technically even classify Karate Kid.
Technically,
I don't consider it a sports movie.
more of an
but
arts movie.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a martial arts movie. I don't think martial arts is a sport. But some people do, and they're wrong, but that's okay. But let us know what your top 5 is, and if your movies made our cut. So, or if you've got one that we didn't even think about, because I guarantee there's one out there that we're like,
There's got to be one out there.
That
we're
one.
like, we need that one on the list.
yeah, I know there is, and I'm just once they say it, I'll be like, dang it, that was a good one. Like I almost put The Longest Yard.
Oh wow,
That was another good
We've
one.
got Blades of Glory,
Blades of Glory. Yeah, Adam
Balls of
Sandler.
Fury.
Will Ferrell's done a lot of
A lot of
it's like sports movies.
sports comedy.
Yeah, even though he's not a very athletic guy.
No.
But that's all right. We love him. But moving on to our Ask a Sensei questions. This week's Ask a Sensei is brought to you by Shanna.
All right.
I was sitting here writing out the show the other night, and I was like, hey, like, what are some questions you'd like us to talk about on the show? So she gave us some, and here are the three that we decided on. The first one kind of goes along with what we talked about earlier. It's, as a teacher, how do you help kids grieve? And that is obviously a very poignant question that we're going to have to be dealing with right now.
Deal with that
in the upcoming few days. So, as a non-parent, how do you help people deal with loss?
I think in my experience as a teacher, as someone who maybe has more experience, a lot of times when we're young, we feel like it's the end of the world. It's like, how do I go on from this? Because we just don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have enough things happen to us that it's like, oh, I'll never recover from this or whatnot. But that's not true. And so how I help them is I help them see past like what is initially bothering them and realize that, you know what, in the long run, it's all right. It'll happen and you'll be fine. It may hurt, and it may hurt for a while.
Yeah.
But you still move on.
Yeah.
You still go forward. And if it's in relation to losing somebody or losing a friend, which is going to be poignant to us, it's like, it's almost like the WWJD,
Yeah.
But do you think, in our case, would you think our friend Liam would want us to stop doing what we're doing?
Exactly.
No, he would want us to, go forward.
He'd probably be wondering why everybody's sad.
Yeah.
Like, why are you guys sad?
Yeah. That's always the, it's the curse, or not necessarily curse, but it's like, you're still around. It's like, oh, but you need to move forward because of them.
Yeah. Not in spite of them.
That's right.
No, I agree. I hate to try to use this term because I think it's overused, but anytime you're talking with someone or dealing with someone that's grieving is, again, it's like justifying their feelings. It's like, I don't like to use that term because people overuse it in the wrong context, but allowing them to be sad for a while. It's like, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel upset. All these feelings that you're feeling because you're dealing with somebody that's been taken from you, so to speak, are normal and they're fine. The problem is staying in those feelings. It's like, you can understand that you can be sad and you can cry because we've lost someone very important to us. But at the same time, life still continues. So if like, I know for me, like when I'm talking with the kids or when I'm talking with students or even just talking to myself, it's like, I'm really sad right now and that's okay. But I do still have to live life. I still have responsibilities. I still have things that need to be done. Because this aspect of my life is gone and not around anymore, that doesn't mean I don't have my family. It doesn't mean I don't have other students to take care of. I'm not ignoring the fact that I'm sad, but also at the same time understanding the fact that I still have to make sure I take care of all these other things. And kind of like what you said, would this person want me to stop living, so to speak? And I remember talking with his dad, Kyle. We were here in the dojo. We had a little memoriam for him here on Saturday. And I go, man, like, what do you guys do? Like, how can you, like, I don't know how you're doing it. to lose a child like that. And he goes, there's only one thing you can do, and that's just put one foot in front of the other and try not to think too far ahead and try not to think too far back. And sometimes literally that's what you have to do, is you just kind of have to put your head down and put one foot in front of the other until the next thing you realize, like, okay, I'm still moving. But not denying yourself the feelings you need to feel to grieve. And everybody grieves differently. Some people get angry. Some people pour themselves into work. Some people are just like, I just got to stay busy. Some people cry. Some people do all of it. Some people like to try to tell funny stories to make themselves not feel sad. However you choose to grieve, that's good. Good for you, as long as you're not hurting yourself or someone else.
Yeah, as long as it's not like
self-destructive.
Self-destructive or
yeah, don't pour yourself into substances.
Right.
Or don't just pour yourself into the past where it denies your future. But I'm gonna just reiterate with everybody, he may physically be gone from us, but all of our experiences, our memories, those will always be around forever. And how we behave and act will either continue to remember him or make him ashamed of us. And you can take that from a religious point of view. You can take that from whatever point of view you want to. But I'm going to do my best to make people remember Liam through my actions. Just like if you're a religious person, people will know God through you. You don't need to tell them about it. Like, there's people directly here because of Liam.
Mm-hmm.
So Liam is still here because of those people. And that's just how it is.
Yep.
And always understand that we had far more good times than this bad time we're dealing with right now.
Right.
This bad thing we're dealing with right now is very heavy and it's bad.
Right.
But we have to always remember the good things that we had from it. So that's probably the best way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say it's the only way to deal with it, or I probably even shouldn't say it's the best way, but that's my way of dealing with it.
Right.
And continue to just talk about the good things. Because I know when I first heard about it, the second I would start talking about it, I'd get emotional. Like, I'd find myself not being able to talk, or I would start to cry, or anything like that. The second I would think about it, hear about it, boom, just hard to deal with. But obviously, the more I'm talking with people, talking about stories, the burden is becoming less, but it's still there. Like, one of our students, Sarah, she was talking to us on Saturday, and she's had to deal with the loss of a family member as well. She said that someone told her something, and it's very poignant. Grief is like walking around with a brick in your pocket. At first, it's very heavy and it's very noticeable. But the more you walk around and move, the less and less heavy it becomes, and then you don't realize it's there. But every now and then something will happen, or you'll hear something, you'll see something, and it's like sticking your hand in your pocket and your finger jabs itself on that brick. And it's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's still there, but it's not there all the time.
Right.
And I was like, man, that's a really great way of realizing grief.
Right.
So, but that's how I would deal with it.
Okay.
Obviously, everybody's got their own way, but I really like the way you described it as well. And Yeah, I'm curious on how a lot of people are going to deal with their grief in the upcoming classes. And I'm curious on how I'm going to deal with it too. Because this is all brand new territory for me as well. And I hope nobody has to deal with this. Especially when you're dealing with someone young. I mean, he just turned 15 at the end of October.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not fair. But that's life sometimes. And we can either choose to let it cripple us or we can choose to let it better us. So I'm choosing to let the experiences I've had with Liam better who I am, not cripple me by this unfortunate situation we're in. So moving on to our next question, what are some thoughts what are your thoughts on New Year's resolutions? Do you like them? Do you not like them?
Shannon needs to listen to the show a little more. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think we've already talked about these.
A little bit.
Don't align your resolution to a day.
Yes.
Especially don't pick a day like where most people are hungover.
Yeah.
Because that's just miserable. If you want to change, if you want to do something better, do it. Don't wait for the turn of the year to renew yourself.
Yeah. I agree. Now, here's the thing. I believe in goals.
Of course.
And technically New Year's resolutions are goals. But the problem most people deal with is they're like, this year,
It's motivation.
I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And it's fine to do a year goal, but then you have to break it down into smaller goals.
Right.
Because then people are like, well,
how do I start?
Yeah, or they get discouraged because they don't feel like they're progressing, even though they are, or the goal is so big that they're like, I can't even do it. But yet they are getting closer to it, but they don't feel like they're close enough.
Right.
Like, let's take the weight one. Everybody's like, I'm going to get into shape.
Into shape.
Let's just say shape. I'm going to get into shape this new year. Well, what does that technically mean?
Right.
What is getting into shape look like?
It means I need to eat better.
Exactly. Is it I'm going to lift 3 times a week? I'm going to walk every day. I mean, what is getting into shape? It's not specific enough. Not only do people not specific with New Year's resolutions, then they don't break it down into smaller goals to meet the big goal. Well, it's like, okay, well, let's say a numbers one. I'm going to lose, for number's sake, 100 pounds.
Okay.
Well, damn, that's a lot of weight to lose. How do you lose that?
Like,
okay, well, I need to make sure that I'm lifting 3 times a week and I'm walking 3 times a week, or I'm not eating out as much. Or it's like, okay, I'm only eating out once a week, or I'm making sure I get these foods in my diet. And then it's like, after 1 month, I'm going to lose X amount of weight. In 3 months, I'm going to lose X amount of weight. And that you break it down into smaller goals to where it's like, and all of a sudden it goes from a year goal to a daily goal. And it's like, today I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And most people don't do that. They just they throw these like blanket statements out on the wall and they just hope they're going to stick. So I believe in goal setting, but like you said, attaching a date or starting on a specific date to do the goal, that's stupid. And there's no other way of putting it. Okay. Yep. I'd like to be like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. If a statement hurts your feelings, then it's probably true. Okay. That's just no other way of putting it. Someone told me a long time ago that if someone tells you something, one of 2 things is going to be. It's either going to be true or it's going to be false.
No way. Someone told you that?
Yeah.
Was it true?
It is true.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they're either telling you the truth and you don't like it, so it hurt your feelings, or they're trying to tell you something that will hurt your feelings, but it's not true.
Yeah.
Okay. So being like, oh, well, I'm going to start eating better on Monday. Well, why don't you just start eating better now?
Today. Yeah.
Like, why do you have to wait for like a start of a work week?
Working my motivation up. So I can start.
And then all of a sudden you like binge eat for 3 days,
Right.
being like, I'm not going to be able to eat this. And then you're just setting yourself up for
Exactly.
failure. So
That's
if there's
why-
something you want to do, or if there's a goal you want to meet, just start it now.
Mm-hmm.
Or start planning it to where you can start it the next day.
Right.
Don't wait until a specific time to start something, because then I guarantee you will not follow through with it. Okay, so that's the big thing about New Year's resolutions. I don't think New Year's resolutions is a good term. I think goal setting is a good term, and then you start it as soon as possible.
Right.
Don't be like, well, when I turn
I
this
resolve
age,
to be 7 feet tall by the end of the year.
exactly. Well, it's
What does
like,
that
well,
mean? I need to
if
buy
you
some
haven't
stilts.
done that before, or even gotten close to that,
Right.
it's like all these younger kids are like, I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, you're not even making $100,000 a year.
Right.
How are you going to be a millionaire in a year? Is it possible? Sure, if you work hard enough and you are smart and you do it correctly. But if you haven't earned a certain amount already, what makes you think you're going to quadruple it?
Right. If you can't handle $1, what
What
how
makes
can
you think you can handle $100?
$100?
Exactly. So that's our take
That's our
on
interesting. We're kind of
New Year's resolutions.
curmudgeons when it comes to that field. Actually,
Yeah.
I spoke about New Year's resolutions at my church
There you go.
recently, so it was cool.
All right, our last question is, what are 3 key words that you want to focus on this year? So meaning
Ooh.
like
Let's recap 2024's keyword.
it was making an impact
It was growth.
and growth.
Yep.
So the dojo word was growth.
Right.
Personal word was impact for me.
Impact. Yeah.
Okay. So what are 3? Let's do personal, and then we'll kind of combine to do dojo.
Okay.
Okay. So what are 3 phrases or words for you personally that, and I really honestly haven't, I wrote it down yesterday, but I didn't really think about it yesterday.
Okay.
I really haven't. So
Sure.
what are 3 words for you that you want to kind of focus on this year?
Well, let's go for consistency.
Okay.
Let's go for wow, okay. I didn't think about this one. Because obviously I want to be more consistent in everything
Yeah.
I do. I want to do it more. I
Exactly.
want to do it more regularly. I don't want to feel like it's an event. I just want to feel like it's a thing, right? So
Yeah.
getting comfortable working hard, it's something for me, as a goal for me. I'm trying to figure out how to synthesize that into a word. Grit. Let's do that. So consistency, grit, and let's go with this word. Let's go with optimism. Let's go consistency, grit, don't quit, and optimism. We'll look on the bright side. Those are going to be my 3 words.
Okay. Nice. Those are like good words for the dojo too.
Hey, I claimed them.
There you go. I'm thinking, I like consistency. I wasn't thinking of that at first, but I like the word consistency. Family
Nice.
and health.
Nice. Okay.
So me personally and that consistency can be like across the board with everything. That's why I think it was such a great word to use. I wasn't even thinking about that. But like just making sure I'm always trying to improve my health and maintain the good parts of my health, and family, obviously being present and there for them, and just making sure they're okay. And then consistency with all of that.
Yeah.
So, dojo phrases, I'm continuing on with growth.
Growth again.
Yeah. I like grit,
Grit.
and I would probably say impact or consistency. So we're going to say 4.
Okay. So the 4 words this year for the
Yeah.
dojo.
Yes. Our growth,
grit, impact,
and
consistency.
consistency. And
So what do those
anytime,
look like?
well, obviously growth, meaning like we want to make sure that we're having an opportunity to make an impact on as many people as possible. And anytime you feel like you're not making an impact, I will always refer back to the situation we just had to deal with. The fact that I was one of the first people that they called to inform me of the horrible situation, not to bum me out. They specifically said because he loved me so much.
Mm-hmm.
I will always remember that anytime you're like, oh, man, classes are just really tough right now. No, you're fine. Like, we are making a much greater impact than we realize, and we want to continue to make a great impact when we do realize. So, obviously, the grit to power through even the tough parts, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency with our efforts, our teaching, our approach. Honestly, just with all the other things we just talked about, consistent with it, consistent with growth, consistent with making an impact, consistent with gritting through and pushing through hard things. That's what, for me, that's what it would look like for the dojo. So
There we go.
we'll have to write those down so we can
better.
remember 'em. We'll put them up somewhere. So, but those are our 3 words. If you've never thought about a key phrase or a word to use for yourself personally, I'd encourage you to do it, because then you can just have to look at it and you're like, yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll type those up. We'll start plastering those in places that we can see them. So it reminds us all the time, hey, this is what we're working for. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, moving on to our next section, which is our joke of the week. This week's joke of the week, I should probably stop telling these to Shanna because she doesn't have a sense of humor. And she knows it. I told her it and she just stared at me. She's like, that's not funny. I was like, I thought it was funny. That's why I wrote it down. It's, here's the joke. I told my doctor I broke my arm in 2 places. He said, well, don't go to those places.
No.
Doo-doo. But let us know what your favorite joke is for this week. Or if you have a joke, or if you're not funny, don't write a joke. But I like hearing jokes because they make me laugh, and I'd rather laugh than cry. So
That's right.
all right, moving on to our next section, our shout-outs. This week, I'm going to just shout out everybody that came and supported our TRUMOTION family, and more specifically Liam's parents. Just the outpouring of support and love that they not only showed him, but his family. It was really inspiring to see. And I kept telling everybody that was there, I go, hey, thank you for coming, but also make sure you keep this up, not just like right now. Because it's interesting, anytime someone deals with a tragedy, the first 2 weeks to 4 weeks, everybody's all in.
Right.
And then everybody's all out and they're left alone. So I know me personally, I'm going to make sure that I get Liam's dad in here training. They will always be a part of our TRUMOTION family. And I'm going to just do what I can to reach out to their family to just, check in on them, making sure they're okay, if there's anything we can do for them. Because again, when people are needed, everybody's willing to help right away.
Right.
But then after a while, the help goes away. And that's when people truly need the help. Is right now, I guarantee people are, well, I guarantee for people here in the dojo, the students, they're running on just adrenaline, or they're still in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it'll hit them in about a month or 2. And then that's when we make sure we need to really rally around people. When it's like, man, I'm still sad, but nobody's here to ask me how I'm doing. That's when people need help. So I remember talking with Donovan, one of our 2-time guests on the show, That's what happens with families who have had tragedies in law enforcement or in the military. Right away, people are there helping, willing to help, willing to do whatever they can. And then in about a month, nobody's there. And it's like, okay, we need to make sure that we maintain that energy throughout the course of something. So again, I just want to shout out everybody that came and supported, said a kind word, whatever it was that you did, just showing up. That was hard enough for some people, but you did it anyways. So that goes a long way. But yeah,
I want to follow that up. Unfortunately, I was out of town when this whole thing happened, so I'm going to shout you out for the, very thoughtful, very considerate appreciation to the student, to Liam, to the fact that we're doing so much to remember him, and you spearheaded that, and I think that was amazing, and I think that it just goes to show just how much we truly care about our students. We truly have such a blessing to have them in our lives, and the fact that it's like, what, winter break be damned, we're opening up the dojo, so people can come and mourn together.
And it was very interesting because again, I normally travel during the holidays, and the fact that my surgery was postponed, again, at the time, I was really upset. I was very upset because it's like I canceled a trip because of this. And again, it's like, man, you may not understand it at the time, but everything is going on for a reason. And if I was in a state of recovery, I don't know how well I would have been able to be present.
Right.
And to be available. Or getting here, because I probably wouldn't have been able to drive by myself for a while. So the fact that we were able to do what we could do, that's why certain things happen. And I wish it wasn't this, but that's what happened.
Right.
So, and you just have to start to look and think, be like, my goodness, what can we do to help? And again, it's like now we need to continue that thought process on beyond this. How can we continue to help? That's the real thing. So, but moving on to the end of our show, our final thoughts. Well, kind of the nature of what we've been dealing with. I mean, I really want to not emphasize what happened, but take away the lessons of what happened. And it was a unfortunate reminder that life is precious. We always talk about how, you live like there's no tomorrow, but everybody always fully expects to wake up tomorrow.
Right.
Nobody truly believes that there may be a possibility that we don't wake up the next day. Nobody thinks that way.
No one wakes up surprised.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh man.
Oh, new day.
I'm glad I opened my eyes, especially when you're younger.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that way. But literally, someone fell asleep and then never woke back up. And that just reminds me specifically, man, you can't leave anything unsaid, or you can't leave anything undone, or you can't stay angry or mad at someone or hold a grudge. I know for the longest time I was upset with certain people, and in the long run, looking back at it, the only person it hurt was me. Now it's just like, okay, this person may have done me wrong, but they're not continuing to do me wrong because they're not doing anything. So it's like, okay, I can either continue to dwell on that or be like, okay, I forgive them and I need to move on. So life is truly precious, and I just encourage everybody to take the opportunity to tell someone you love them, or constantly tell people thank you, or like make sure you're present while you're with someone. Not, well, we were in the same room, but everybody was on their phone.
Right.
No, it's like have conversations with people, enjoy yourself. I feel very bad for a lot of the teens that chose not to come to the Christmas party because that was the last time they would have ever had a chance to interact with Liam. So now I'm personally going to say anytime there's something that I don't want to do, well, I'm going to do it. We're like, God, I don't want to go to that party. No. Get your ass up, go to the party. Because you never know if that's the last time you're going to have a chance to interact with someone. And I don't want to make it sound morbid or
sounds
like...
cryptic, but it's not.
It's not. And enjoy the time you have with those people. And when I say enjoy it, I mean have fun. Talk about cool things. Like, don't just be like this Debbie Downer all the time. Like right now in the world, there's all this crap and bad things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. There's always going to be something bad happening. Do we bury our head in the sand about it? No, but at the same time, I'm not going to dwell on it. Because I want to live life. I don't want to live life in fear of something bad may happen to me. No, because bad things will always happen to people. I want to be prepared, but I don't want to walk around life in the hopes of it not happening, or in the hopes of
or like
it will happen.
Or
Yeah, exactly. Or denying that something bad may happen to me. I'm going to be present here and now, which I've had a hard time to do, to be honest with you. I mean, because anytime you're teaching or you're running a business, it's like you're always looking forward.
Right.
You have to. But at the same time, don't look so far forward that you sacrifice the now. And that's the biggest takeaway, unfortunately, I've had to learn from this incident. Because the Saturday before, or the day before he passed, we were talking about what do you want to do when he grew up? Not, hey, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Right.
And it's like, okay, we can look to the future, but we can't ignore the present. You know, it's that whole saying, you know, it's called a present because it's a gift.
Yep.
So I encourage everybody this year to be more present. So maybe that'll be our word for the dojo this year, or the podcast.
Ooh.
Is be present.
Well, we are more relevant because this is being recorded the day before it goes live.
Exactly. So we are going to get better at that. And we are going to get video at some point this year. It will happen.
It's very, very in the future.
Yes, like hopefully by the end of the month or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but then you'll be able to start to see our bright, shiny faces.
Yay.
Instead of our sultry radio voices. Or maybe you'll realize, be like, dang, they should just stick to audio.
Yep.
Who knows? I don't know. My dad always says,
for radio.
Yeah, you got a face for radio. But that's debatable. So, but thank you for spending the new year with us. Our first episode of 2025. And 2025 is going to be a great year.
Yes, it will.
A lot of cool things that are going on. Just in the quick, immediate future, we've got a black belt test this weekend. We've got All-Star Weekend next weekend. We've got our 5-year dinner coming up. A lot of cool things happening at the dojo. So hopefully we can see most of you guys there, and we'll continue to spread the good word. And thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy the rest of your whatever you're doing today. Mm-hmm. And we will see you guys back in the dojo later on. Thanks for kicking it with us, everybody.
With us next week. Bye, everyone.